Greetings, African people. Here's another true story. Some years ago, I was on my way to work and I got to my train station. I had to wait there for half an hour before my next train because if I left earlier than that, I would be too early for work. So I usually stay there for half an hour and have my breakfast. That morning, I went through my purse and I found 75 cents. And the coffee that I wanted was $1, and I didn't have 25 cents extra anywhere. So I saw a lady and I asked her for the quarter, told her I wanted it for my coffee, and she gave me a very dirty look. Now, I felt no shame in my game in asking for that quarter because I had previously given dollar, $2, sometimes buy breakfast for people at that very place if I saw someone needed something and I didn't have the money for it. So she gave me the dirty look, and then I saw a black man and I asked him for the quarter and he bought me the coffee. I am a professional woman and I couldn't buy myself a coffee. A few weeks later, I was at that same stop and had an experience that I never forgot. After I got off my bus, a gentleman got off the bus behind me. It was a black guy. And at that time in the morning, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. There was nobody in the train station but myself and this young man. And when I went down the escalator, he was behind me. When I turned the corner, he was behind me. Truthfully, I got a little nervous, not because he was a black man, but because I was a woman alone in the station. And where I was, there were no security cameras. So got a little bit skeptical. I moved out of the way and I allowed him to go before me. And then he turned back and he asked me for $2. I gave him the $2 and, delayed my way going down until after he left. When I got down to this train station, to the booth where you pay to get your tickets, I saw him put $2 and about 45 cents in the section where you pay, and heard the ticket collector say, "That's not enough." And I went up behind him. I heard him saying, "I don't have any more." And I said to him, "Why didn't you ask me for all of it?" And I paid it. So again, I allowed him to go down the escalators, and I thought, okay, he's running for his train. I can catch the next one. But when I got down there, he was crying. I saw him sitting, um, crying. And I went over to him and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I'm just giving thanks because when I woke up this morning, I had no idea how I was going to get to work. I had no money for my fare except the go bus portion of my fare. And I know that I would get a ride home because usually the guys are nice and they would give me a ride." He said, "I just got this job and all I could find was enough to cover a portion of that journey, but not all of it." And he said, "I just felt so tired of always struggling, and this is an opportunity for me. I don't want to lose it because I can't afford to get to work." That thing moved me in such a way. And the guy at the collection booth heard him say, "I'm just trying to get to work. I just don't have any more money." And he said, "Well, that's not my problem." And this is why I'm having this conversation with you today. When African people are having their problems, when they're suffering, when they're in the gully, when they are experiencing all kinds of terrible things in life, usually people say, "It's not my problem." But when these individuals start to come up and out of their tribulation, their trials, everybody has something to say. So I watched a video yesterday from a guy that I really admire, and we got into this discussion, and I'm going to tell you his name. His name is, I think it's DMR Reviews. And I admire this guy. I have been watching him over the years. He's from Jamaica, but he lives in the United States. And he does these dancehall reviews, and I've watched him over the years. I really enjoy his channel. But we got into this discussion yesterday because of a topic that he was doing. He was talking about um, this little guy. Now I can't remember his name. I put it in the annotation. But this guy's from Jamaica, and he had a show that was booked for him in London to perform. And he said the guy had some long list of things that he wanted. He wanted vintage car, and he wanted five-star hotel and all these things. Assuming that this is true, because sometimes these things can be rumor, but this is what he said that the guy was claiming. And then he's gone back on his contract now saying he wanted more money. And my friend DMR was saying, that, when you're just starting out, you just have to humble yourself and so on and so forth. And I understand him to that extent, but I'm thinking now is not the time for African people to start being humble. We have been humble for far too long. And it's time for us not to be humble, because we live in a dog eat dog world. And unfortunately, Black people are always the dog that's been eaten. It's about time that we become aggressive. It's about time that we start demanding the things that we need. It's about time we stop allowing others to use us and manipulate us and extort us and then get rich from us and kick us to the side. And so I was going back and forth with DMR and saying to him that, I see where you're coming from. But you know what? Him high, the limit is the sky. And, he had this expression that if you fly too close to the sun, you're going to get burnt. But I also said to him, if you stay too low to the ground, you're going to get run over. The philosophy of those who are progressive and surviving in this world is not that of content, it's that of greed. And, maybe it's time for us to get greedy. Maybe it's time for us to remember where we're coming from and to push ourselves forward. And so the conversation goes on back and forth between myself and DMR and some other folks that, subscribe to this channel. And, the idea that Black people always have in their mind is that just take it easy, accept less, create relationships first before we start to demand. But we have no idea what tomorrow holds. So when the opportunity presents itself now, you know, I believe that you should demand as much as you think you deserve. I think you should ask for as much as you possibly can get, because we allow ourselves to be used and misused. And we can't do that anymore. So Golly Bob and this guy is said to be hyping themselves too much. And I'm thinking, hype if that's what you need to do. Demand if that's what you need to do. Because back in the day, our musicians were raped. These guys went out and toured and performed and made people wealthy, made albums and barely got anything out of it. Back in the day, these guys worked more than these artists these days, and they got ripped off. So I am saying that it's time that our people start acting badly, start behaving badly, and demanding what is rightfully theirs. It's the only way you can come up and come out of this kind of tribulation and this trial. It's the only way for you to put your feet up and to say, yeah, this is the life, I'm enjoying myself. I'm not saying that you should become so vain that you think you're better than other people. Another thing I have to say to Black people, stop pitting our people against each other. You have artists, everybody has their own taste and their own idea of who they like or who they don't like. Different personalities in our race appeal to different people. So you have people like Vybz Kartel. First time I heard that guy, it was shocking, the things that he was saying. But I thought, do what you got to do to get out, to get up, you know? And then came Alkaline, and individuals were demanding him to say that he was copying Vybz Kartel, and he refused to do that, and it caused a lot of animosity. But this guy, Alkaline, is talented. I like him. I like his music. I like some of what he has to say. The guy is very creative. And Vybz Kartel, there is no other Vybz Kartel. There is no other Gully Bop. There's no other, whosoever. Everybody is special and unique in their own way, and everyone has an ability to go out there and really do well for themselves. What we have to do as Black people is support each other and stop tearing each other down. And stop comparing people. Stop comparing apples with oranges. Vybz Kartel is your person. Celebrate Vybz Kartel, because I like Vybz Kartel. I don't like every song that he does, but there's some of his songs that have me rocking or have me laughing. I think he's hilarious. I think he's talented. I think he is one of the best lyricists. I like Gully Bop too, not just because of his story, but because, he has what some people need. And, this guy that I'm talking to, I just drew a blank on his name, but I'm just saying Yeah, real rich. That's what he refers to himself as, real rich. And I think that's a mentality that Black people have to have. We have to start thinking real rich, not just in material wealth, but in our health, in our welfare, in everything that we do in our relationship with each other. We have to be real rich. And so you know, many people are looking at these two guys, Gully Bob and Real Rich, and thinking, who the hell are you to come here on out here right now acting like you're something? They're something. They're very important. And the reason why these individuals are trying to get them to perform in their venues is because they know they have what the people want at the moment, and they're trying to capitalize on it, and I support that wholeheartedly. Let us not promote one person and tear the next one down, because we do that in our community. In order for us to show appreciation for each other, we have to uplift somebody and tear somebody. Beyonce is better than Rihanna. No, they're two different persons who are performing and giving us different groups of people what they want. Celebrate them. And when they make mistakes, stop acting as if they did something personal to you. They didn't. If they made a mistake, it's their mistake to make. If they foul up in their life, let them foul up in their life. It is their life and their mistakes to make. What you look at is a hope that they have provided for people. They have showed people who are feeling low and down and out that all things are possible. Be bless everybody. Think on these things.